Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says for the third straight year, firearms killed more children and teens ages 1 to 17 than any other cause, including car crashes and cancer. As of last month, CNN reports there's been at least 50 school shootings this year alone. What proposals would you bring to Congress to ensure the district's security and ensure parents they can safely drop off their kids at school?
Yeah, I had a gun court when I was on the bench, and we saw a variety of circumstances where adults and young people had obtained guns illegally, and that is the chief concern. Law enforcement has to be extremely aggressive in enforcing the laws that are already in place, specifically felons with guns, people that are not authorized to have those guns, because we have to protect society and send a message to deter others. You know, the laws that are in place right now, we've got an abundance of them, but we have to aggressively enforce them, because right now there is not a sufficient disincentive for those that shouldn't have guns to get guns and to use guns, and that makes our entire society less safe.
Judge, according to the nonprofit Everytown, Illinois ranks number 3 in gun strength, having some of the strongest gun safety laws in the country. Do you think it's too hard to get a gun here in Illinois?
No. I mean, you just follow the law. It's not too hard to get a gun if you're, a citizen and you're a law-abiding citizen, and you go through the background check and pay your fees and so forth. It's not a question of whether or not we have enough laws, but as I mentioned before, we have to be very aggressive in prosecuting. That means more resources for prosecutors, more resources for law enforcement to focus in on this problem that we're all aware of. But again, with being overloaded with crimes caused by illegals, the fentanyl crisis and so forth, they have their hands more than full. And they will all tell you that they need to have more resources in order to do that.
So you would say more resources towards law enforcement to address our country's gun problem?
Of course, but let's focus on prosecution. Prosecutors' offices are often reactive. Crime occurs, and then they have to react to what happened. A long-term, more prospective approach. If prosecutors had prosecutors that are just totally dedicated to that type of criminal prosecution, and they could liaise with law enforcement that would have resources committed to this type of prosecution, it won't happen with us doing what we've always done. That clearly hasn't worked, so we need to have focused resources.
Focused resources, you mean in the court system with the prosecutors, local counties trying to prosecute these cases?
Yes, and the law enforcement that goes with it. When law enforcement is overtaxed, prospective, long-term investigative efforts are often sidelined because everyone's all hands on deck every day dealing with what's happening. So we need to have law enforcement and prosecutors at all levels, state and federal, that are going to make a priority out of prosecuting these kind of cases.